My name is Todd. I'm 34 and I work in corporate IT. I fix problems nobody notices until something breaks. And looking back, that's exactly what my marriage was like too. My wife Julie came from money. Real money. The kind where her father, Bronson, owns half the commercial real estate in the city and makes sure everyone knows it. We were married for 6 years, and for all 6 of them I was the guy who married up. The guy who should be grateful. The guy who wasn't quite good enough. I was self-made. Worked my way through college. Built my career from nothing. But to her family, I was just a middle-class IT guy who got lucky. Bronson never missed a chance to remind me. Jokes at dinner about real business versus tech support. Comments about whether I could afford the wine we were drinking. Suggestions that maybe I should let the men talk when business came up. I swallowed all of it because I loved Julie. Or maybe I loved the idea of proving them wrong. About 3 months before my birthday, Julie changed. She was physically there but mentally gone. Working late. Coming home at 10 or 11 smelling like expensive cologne that wasn't mine. Smiling at her phone in ways she hadn't smiled at me in months. I knew something was wrong. But I convinced myself I was being paranoid. So I tried harder. Did more around the house. Planned date nights she canceled. Bought her favorite wine she never touched. And the more I tried, the further she drifted. Then came my birthday. October 15th. A Saturday. I wasn't expecting much, maybe dinner, maybe a cake. I would have been happy just spending time together. Instead, she woke me up with a strange excitement and said she had a surprise. We were going to her parents' house. My stomach dropped. Nothing good ever happened there. She insisted. Said it would be fun. Said her family wanted to celebrate me. That should have been my warning. When we arrived, the house was full. Her parents, her sister Annabelle, some country club friends. Champagne glasses everywhere. And everyone had the same look on their face. Like they knew something I didn't. In the living room, there was a small table with a single cream-colored envelope on it. The kind you'd use for a wedding invitation. Julie picked it up, turned to me and handed it over. I opened it. Divorce papers. Already filled out. Already dated. Just waiting for my signature. After a few seconds of silence, Julie announced she was leaving me for someone who wasn't a disappointment. And then they clapped. Her mother clapped. Bronson laughed. He came over, put a hand on my shoulder like we were friends, and said they never thought she'd actually marry someone so beneath her. But hey, I got 6 good years out of it. I wanted to scream. Flip the table. Burn every bridge in that room. But instead something clicked. I looked at the papers. Looked at Julie. Looked at Bronson. And I realized they'd just done me the biggest favor of my life. I pulled out a pen and signed every page. Calm. Silent. Blank. Julie's smile faltered. I looked her in the eyes and said, "Thanks for the birthday gift. Best one I've ever received." Then I walked out. I drove 3 blocks, pulled over, and sat there shaking for 20 minutes while everything hit me. The betrayal, the humiliation, the relief. At least now I knew. The next week was brutal. Work was a blur. Home felt empty. I barely slept. I replayed that night over and over. But on day 5 something shifted. I was sitting alone in a bar, angry, not sad. The kind of anger that brings clarity. I called a lawyer named Larry. Told him everything. His first question. "Tell me you didn't sign without reading." I told him I had. He laughed, not at me. Like he'd just been handed a gift. That weekend I went through our shared cloud files. And that's when I found it. 8 months of messages between Julie and a coworker named Ronan. Hotel plans. Photos. Jokes about how clueless I was. And one message I'll never forget. The birthday party was her dad's idea. They wanted to break me publicly so I'd sign fast. By Monday morning, Larry had everything. And suddenly I had leverage. We let them sweat. Within days, Julie called. Then her mother. Then Bronson, suddenly polite, suddenly worried. I didn't respond. I moved out. Started over. Rebuilt my life piece by piece. Found peace. Found myself. 3 months later, the divorce was finalized. The settlement heavily favored me. Not because of greed, but because consequences matter. 6 months after that birthday party, my life was completely different. Then one night, I noticed a white Audi parked outside my building. Julie. 2 nights later, she knocked on my door. She looked broken. She told me everything. Ronan was married. The affair blew up. HR investigations. Her family collapsing. She'd been sleeping in her car. She begged to come back. I listened. Then I thanked her. Because losing her had saved me. I told her she could stay one night. That was it. The next morning I gave her coffee, a shelter number, and wished her well. That was the last time. Today I live quietly. I read. I build furniture. I adopted a 3-legged dog named Max. And I finally understand something. What I thought was the end of my life was actually the beginning. That night wasn't my destruction. It was my freedom.